Yeah, he plays with her all the time. And then I don't know what it is about this. It's a little truck. It like it looks kind of like a monster truck. It has like big tires, like mud tires on it, and it looks to be yellow to me, yellow and black, and it goes by itself, or it makes some kind of racket by itself.
It's sitting on my table right now, and it's like a dinosaur. And it's yellow and black. It's those colors.
Well, yeah.
I had to put it up.
Hello, love.
Hey, I'm not coughing for the moment.
Well, whenever you went to Coffin in your live, I was like, oh my gosh. I went to Coffin too. I was like, hello, Sonny. Welcome in. So, thank you for the follow. So, usually, how I do my readings, I don't know if you've watched me actually do my reading because I haven't done one in a while. But you just call out to somebody. So you say whoever their name, and then you say, "Will you come sit with us?" And then I will try to pull them through. I will talk about what they're telling me, what they're showing me, everything that they're doing over there. And then that sounds like your person. You can be like, yeah, that sounds like them, or no, that sounds like somebody else, or whatever the situation is. But I don't want you to give me too much information until like the connection is fully made and you know who we are talking to. Um, so I mean, whenever I first start, or when we first start, I don't want you to tell me I want to connect with my grandma. She's 93. She passed from a heart attack. I don't want to know any of that. Okay.
Okay.
So when you're ready, I mean, get ready.
So I just tell you the name? Is that what you said?
Yeah, just call their name out and just say, "Can you come sit with us?" And I will try to pull them through.
Okay.
You can say it out loud. That's the only thing you know their name, and then will you come sit with us?
Does it mean first name or first and last? What you need?
It doesn't matter, just their first name, whatever you call them, whoever. If it's your mama, papa, whoever, just call them how you knew them.
Okay. I don't ever call him by his first name, so my granddaddy come sit
Yeah.
with us.
So I'm gonna get him in a second. But first, whose mom passed? I don't know if it's your mom or if it's your husband's mom, but one of y'all's moms is trying to come through. And she's not really chubby or nothing. She's pretty thin. She's a small lady. And she's like, me. And I'm like, okay. Her hair is light. I don't see her with dark hair. Her hair is not as dark as mine. It does look shoulder length though, and she is kind of far away. But I do think it was one of y'all's moms. Um, and there is something going on with her chest area. I'm not sure if it was a heart attack or like a sickness,
Ooh.
like something that it kind of feels like it was some sort of health condition um, that kind of like built up over time. So it's kind of like it got worse over time. Um, so does she sound familiar to y'all?
Absolutely. I'm sorry,
Okay,
my mouth is hanging to my knees.
I'm sorry. So she first off, she's saying, "I'm with you all the time." A very basic thing to say, but she's talking about. So I know that you're in a band. I don't know what kind of band y'all have, like what type of music, but it sounds like to me it's like old. I don't know if it's like banjo music or something like that, but it kind of I don't know. It's not music that I listen to. Like I listen to country pretty much everything, but y'all's band is like different. It's like not blues. It's not country. It's not really rock. It's like a mixture of different sounds. If that
Yeah,
makes any kind of sense.
absolutely.
um, and she's just talking about like being there watching y'all just rock it out. Like y'all have fun, and that's the reason she's like that's why they started it, just to have fun. Just to um I don't know, just to bring something together. I don't know if it was to bring people together, like your band together or your friends together that like to play, but it was something about bringing people together. Um, so there is something going on with that message though, because I don't know if she wasn't able to come to those when she was alive, or if maybe she didn't get to like really see y'all be successful as y'all are now. But there is something going on with her watching y'all, and she does want you to know that she is there. Um, there is something going on with your equipment. Sometimes it like doesn't work. Um, that is her, and she thinks it is hilarious because I hear you. It sounds like your voice, and I hear somebody. It's like y'all are off the stage, or like kind of to the left of the stage, kind of, or off to the stage. You're like, well, it's plugged in. I don't know why it's not working. And then all of a sudden it starts like working, and that is her messing with it, and she thinks it's hilarious. Um, but she's like, you have never failed to surprise and like amaze her with the things that you do in your life. It's like you radiate light from you. It's very easy for you to make friends. It's very easy for you to talk to people. It's very easy for you to relate to people. Um, and she's just always been amazed and very proud of you for that. Um, give me 1 second. This lady is gonna talk for a minute. She is a talker, y'all. So that is one thing. She wants you to know about your band, and she's there, and she's messing with stuff. Um, and she thinks it's hilarious. I think, talking about her health and when she passed, I do think that it was something that came on really quickly. Um, but at the same time, like nobody thought that it would, she would, she would end up passing as quick as she did. So it is kind of still like a shock to y'all that she passed. I mean, now I know y'all know that she's gone, and y'all made peace with that kind of, but at first it was really hard to get through. Um, and she's talking about y'all having to plan her services and stuff. With her, for some reason, there's a color that is, it's like a light greenish color, and I don't know what that means with her. It's not emerald, and it's not like a lime green. It's not a bright green, but it's a pretty green color that is associated with her. Um, and it's not emerald, and it's not like a lime green. It's not a bright green, but it's a pretty green color that is associated with her. Um, and she is talking about planning her services and all of this kind of stuff. Um, there is something going on with flowers. Something's not making sense to me, so you can verify, or say, well, that I don't know what you're talking about, but something about y'all didn't know what kind of flowers to get, or she wouldn't necessarily have wanted all the flowers. I don't know, but in other words, y'all had flowers. Y'all tried to pick flowers for her.
Oh yeah.
Um,
It's everything's right.
and she was like, they was like, well, she wouldn't have really wanted all of this and all these flowers and stuff. And I don't know what to do. I don't know what kind of flowers to get. I want you to know that it was all beautiful for her. Everything that y'all did to honor her was everything, and she was there for all of it. Um, she is showing me her laying, and this is going to be a little bit graphic, but she's laying in her, casket or either on this table, and she has on this pretty blouse. It's almost like I don't know. She has on like this pretty. It's like a light. It's either really light pink or almost pinkish color, and then it has like a little. It looks like a little vest or something over it. Um, or that's like what it looks like. It looks like a pretty little blouse. Um, and she was like, they just honored everything that I would have wanted. They did the best they could. Um, so just know that she is in heaven. She did like the flowers and all this kind of stuff. Even though, y'all know that she wouldn't have really, that wouldn't have been like prominent for her, but she really did like all of it, and she is grateful for y'all. Um, so that is something that she wants you to know. And her death did not hurt at all. So it's kind of like she just kind of goes to sleep, and that's how she goes. Not really anything pain wise or anything like that, and that's something that she also wants pain wise or anything like that, and that's something that she also wants y'all to know too. Did not hurt. Um, there is other people over there with her. Um, is the man that you wanted to talk to your grandpa, is he connected to her?
No, but there could be another one with her.
Okay. Because this man, he looks older. I would put him probably in his late 70s or early 80s, but he passed before she did. So he's been gone for a while.
Yeah.
And I don't know where he is from, but he is from, he sounds like Southern, like, you know how, I know we sound Southern, but like his Southern and our Southern is different Southern language.
Yep.
I hear him like spit. I don't know if he chewed tobacco or if he dipped or what the deal was with him, but I do hear him spitting, and it hits like this tin can. I hear it plain as day. And this man does look like he has a beard. And he was really, really old. He was an old man. He's like, spirits get mad when I call him old, so I kind of don't like to do that. But I do think that he passed a while ago, like a while ago. Maybe when you were a child, or maybe even before you were born. This is how long ago it was.
Huh.
For him. But he is connected to this lady. When she passed, he's one of the first people that she's seen. Him and this older lady were married for all their life. There's she has her hair like pinned to the back of her head, and she has on this long dress. It like almost touches the ground, and their types of heaven. Okay, I'm gonna try to describe it the best that I can. So where they are, it's like really old days. I would put it probably at least in the 60s or 70s is what it looks like to me. It's like this old house, old cabin, little bitty, like shack, basically. And you know, there's a wood stove, house, old cabin, little bitty, like shack, basically. And you know, there's a wood stove around. There's a rocking chair. There's always a rocking chair with these people. I don't know why they had rocking chairs back then so much, but they did. Um, and it just looks like a little 1 or 2 bedroom house. They're in the middle of nowhere. There's like no buildings around them, not a lot of houses around them, and that's their heaven, and they're at peace with that. Um, so I'm trying to see. Did those people sound familiar to you? Do you kind of know them, or do you not know them?
Okay, the first one. Do you want me to tell you, be slap honest with you about that one?
Yeah, the lady.
Okay, I'll tell you who that one is. That is my mom's mom. That's my grandmother. She,
Okay, so
who I named my daughter after.
okay, so these were, I feel like, her parents or either her great grandparents.
I can see it being her great grandparents because that sounds familiar. I got portraits of them in my mom's house.
It's like dirt all around their area. They live off the land. I've seen a field. You know, they worked it. So that's like the time frame that they're in. Um,
Yep.
but I know that they're all together and they're all at peace. Now, your mom, or your grandmom, she is more a modern day though. She
Yeah.
has not been gone as long as them. So, but I do think that she's been gone longer than at least 4 or 5 years longer. So I do think that she's been passed for a little while, but not as long as they have. They've been gone for a long time. Um, but she's a very sweet, kind lady.
Yep. You named everything, and I'm glad that you caught on to my grandmother. She had cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and she had it in the heart and
Mm-hmm.
in her chest. And I've never talked to you about my, this is the most we
Yeah.
talked except for one time on the phone last night.
Yeah.
She passed away from cancer unexpectedly, a couple of days after Thanksgiving. It was in December around, uh, and it was about maybe close to 10 years ago she passed. But my mom, she was found. She went in her sleep in her
Mm-hmm.
chair, and we were worried that it was something major because her glasses were off her head, kind of cattywampus,
Yeah.
and she had been gone. That's how she wanted to go. And during her funeral, she was wearing a light pink gown that looked like a blouse. She wanted, and we didn't know what kind of flower she wanted. You're right, but we chose peonies, and because they had the light green to the leaves and the pink of the flowers, we knew those were ones that she loved. We were confused between hydrangeas and peonies.
Mm-hmm. Well, she was,
So,
and I don't know what she malfunctions, but she does. It looks like something that plugs into like a speaker or an amp, is what it looks like.
oh, listen, every time I've had a gig with my band for the past, what, 2 or 3 months, my speakers will not work.
Mm-hmm. It's her.
Oh my God. And it's so aggravating because I can't figure out how to reprogram them. And my husband gets mad at me all the time. He's like, you've got to learn how to use your speakers. And I was like, they worked fine earlier.
They're not the speakers, it's her. So, yeah. And she thinks that it's hilarious. So,
And
if you're satisfied with that reading, we can try to pull it in your grandpa. So, call out to him again and let's try to get him. Because I had to get her. She was not going to let us alone until I got her finished.
no,
So,
that's perfect because it was between her and my granddad, and I haven't been able to speak with him. My grandmother comes to me
yeah.
um, through different ways. But my
Mm-hmm.
granddad, so say granddad, what do I say? Come in.
Come sit with us to be fine. Just say,
Granddad, come sit with me.
give me 1 second.
Okay.
Because he is a man of not a lot of words. And I'm like, you got to talk to me. And he talks slow and steady.
Yep.
Um, he didn't have a lot to say in real life either, but he was a very sweet man. He kind of loved everybody from a distance. I don't know how to from a distance. I don't know how to explain it. That's just how he was. That's how he was raised. You know, not very affectionate all the time. Um, but for some reason, I think that you may have been the favorite granddaughter or the favorite grandchild because he's showing me like this little girl. This is one of his memories. Um, it looks like you. She has a long blonde hair, and she's running to him, and he just like picks her up, and he's sitting in a chair, like a recliner chair or a chair, and he's got his feet up, and he leans up and he grabs her and he just snuggles her in. Um, and that is one of his memories that he took to heaven with him. Um, I don't know if he logged or if he was a logger, but he did work outside because he is showing me machinery and stuff. It looks like it's out in the woods, is what it looks like. Um, I don't know if he was a logger, but that's kind of like what it looks like to me. And I do think he did get old enough to retire, but he did not like it. He did not like to have nothing to do. And that's what he's talking about. He did not though. He's like, I didn't like to have nothing to do, but at the same time, like I didn't get to where I was so dependent on my family. Like y'all had to do everything for him, and he's glad for that. He was like, I didn't get old enough to where I couldn't do everything by for myself. Like he still had a little bit of dignity left. Like he was still able to do a little bit for himself. Um, and he was like, that's one of the things that he's grateful for. Um, Now, with him and the way that he passed away, there is stuff going on with the way that he is breathing. Um, and it's almost like he either, so I can kind of describe it. Don't get scared. But sometimes when they have like a heart attack or a heat stroke or a stroke, their body gets really, really hot, or they make my body feel really hot. And like it feels like it tingles all over. So, you know, like when your foot goes to sleep, that tingle feeling?
Yeah.
That's kind of like what it feels like. And then he's out of his body. Um, I do think there's something going on with either he passed at home or he passed at a place where he was familiar with. Um, but it didn't hurt, is what he's saying. It didn't hurt. Um, this man, he worked really, really hard all of his life. From the time that he was a young teenager all the way up to almost before he passed away. Um, and he's like, that's what he taught you, and like how he wanted his family to be. He wanted hard workers, honest people, and that's what he's talking about. So he goes from talking about the way that he passed to that. I don't know why. Most of the time, it's because they don't like to talk about the way that they passed. I don't think he's been gone that long though. So I mean, I do think he's been gone for a couple of years, for a little while, but not more than like 10 or 12 years. I don't think. Um, and the way that I see him, he is still. He's like over there living his life how he lived it here, except he's able to walk a little bit better. He's able to do a little bit more for himself. But there is something going on, because I don't know if you possibly have had a child or a miscarriage, but there is a child that is over there with you. And I hear them laughing. It does sound like a female child. And I don't know who this is significant for. Um, but that is something that's also important for him, or also important to him, is this little child. I cannot see them. I can just hear her. Um, there's dogs around. Um, so there is at least two dogs. I see one that is brown or like a reddish color. Reddish color. Um, does this sound familiar? Am I on the right track?
Yeah, it sounds like my other grandfather. And that's okay too, because that sounds just like him.
Okay.
And I did have a miscarriage.
Okay. So, um, I can tap into that if you want me to, but if not, that's fine. Because I get babies and children are one of the hardest. It's not hard for me to read. They're easy to come through. It's just it gets me in my emotions. But we can try if you want to. But he is over there, and like I said, he doesn't really have anything to really say other than how he passed. He showed me that one memory of you, or either of this child growing up and hugging him. Um, he is. I don't know. He looks like a farmer, or like a. I don't know. That's the best way I can explain it to you. He is outside all the time. He has trackers over there in heaven. It's just it's slow with him. Everything is slow, and he has his own ways of doing stuff. Every day, this man had his own set of ways that he did every day. He reads the newspaper still. He drinks coffee. This man is not in a rush to do nothing. Um, and like I said, he's not talking to me that much.
Yeah.
Um, do you have two daughters and a son?
Yeah.
Okay. He knows about your children. Um, and he watches them all the time. Now, I don't know if your youngest one, I feel like your youngest one is a boy. I feel like. You don't have to answer that if you don't feel comfortable doing that. But this little boy that I'm seeing, watches him a lot. Um, so it's about to get weird for a second. So this little boy, he shows me him sitting in the bathtub playing with like little boats or something in the tub, and this grandpa is playing with him. Like he plays with him all the time. I don't. He. This is gonna be crazy too. So it's like this truck that I don't know if you press a button and it goes by itself, or if it's like remote control and it goes. But this truck does go by itself sometimes, and that is your grandpa messing with him. I don't know. It like makes noises and stuff, and then it like goes a little bit by itself. But your grandpa, he plays with that little baby all. This little kid looks to maybe be 2 or 3, maybe two-ish, 2.5, 3.
It's my daughter. She's 3, and she plays with a boat in the bathtub all the time.
Okay.
And she acts like a boy. She's a heathen.
Okay, so that's he plays with her all the time. And then I don't know what it is about this. It's a little truck. It looks kind of like a monster truck. It has like big tires, like mud tires on it, and it looks to be yellow to me, yellow and black, and goes by itself, or it makes some kind of racket by itself.
It's sitting on my table right now, and it's like a dinosaur, and it's yellow and black. It's those colors.
Well, yeah.
I had to put it up.
Well, I mean, Papa's coming through, so you just send me a guest request, and I'll pull you up when I get done with Bigfoots. Well, that is to show you, even though he's not really talking that much, he's just showing me things. He is around. You know he's around now. So you have a lot of spiritual people around you. I don't know if you're Indian or if you have Indian blood and native blood in you, but you have a lot around you. And that is always great. I love to see that because your bloodline is the most protected out of every like bloodline there is. So like even though I have many guides and many protectors, like y'all's are like the top. Y'all are very protected. Um, and your bloodline goes back a long while, like many years, like hundreds of years.
Yep.
So just know that. I hope that you feel. I hope you had a good reading, and welcome to the dark side. This is what I tell everybody when I first start the reading.
Well, that was probably the most accurate reading I've ever had because my granddad, he was an outside contractor, and he was always working outside, and he didn't have much to say. After I hit 11, he barely talked to me. But as a kid, he was extremely affectionate. Like I'd go jump in his recliner, and he'd say, "Come on," he called me Angel, and I had blonde hair. It was me. You described me as a kid, except for I was a brat. But thank you so much. I'll let someone else hop on here, but you were fantastic.
You're welcome. Well, I will be back on your live also when you decide to go back live again. So y'all follow Bigfoots. She is super cool. She has all kind of cool little stories about ghosts and stuff. She's really cool. But
thank you
for being here. All right, y'all. So if you're wanting a reading, that's an example of how to get a reading. I do not know Bigfoot. I am in Mississippi, and she's all the way up. I'm not gonna give her state, but way up there. I do not know her personally. I found her on here because she does really cool videos, and then I have hopped onto her lives, and she's been a part of my Fear Friday. Her and her husband both. They do some really cool stuff. So if you are wanting a reading, click the pink and blue people down at the bottom of the screen, and I will try to pull y'all on. So this is for everybody. You do not have to do anything special, just click the people and request. I will say though, if you're wanting a reading, I would definitely go ahead and send the request because there is going to be a lot probably